welcome back to another episode of Messy on Purpose. With I'm co-hosting with my other host here, Fylisha Cruz. I love your last name; it's pretty badass.
You know what's funny about that?
Yeah, please.
I was just telling Justin, I was like, every time I get a new name, I upgrade. So I started. My original last name was Poplet. Hated that last name.
Cruz is definitely an upgrade.
Yeah. No, that wasn't the first upgrade though. The second upgrade was when I was adopted, and it went to Metter. Then it went to Cruz.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, very interesting.
So I upgrade my name every time.
Okay.
But I think I'm at the peak now.
Yeah.
I think Cruz. It's hard to beat Cruz.
I don't know. Dude, you can't beat Cruz. Cruz is a very nice last name. Yeah,
It's
and the way you spell it
smooth.
too as well, it's very smooth. Tom Cruise, so with a C, but yours with a K.
Yes. I think that's like the German thing or something.
Oh, is it really?
I don't know. Some kind of heritage thing.
Actually,
Maybe.
he could have. Is Tom Cruise really?
Maybe.
I think Tom
Oh,
Cruise is
no.
really,
He told me it was supposed to be like Cruzy or something, but his
Really?
grandpa didn't like that, so he changed it to just Cruz.
And then there it is.
It was something like that.
There it is. Last names are interesting. So, my last name is Cummings, but I don't know. It's Scottish, I guess, but interesting. I have no idea where the heritage comes from, but it comes from somewhere in the States. So
I started Googling like my original last name and then my adopted last name, and I was like, you know what? I actually don't care. I just stopped.
Well, I tried to change. Well, I didn't try to change my name. I mean, like Zell Aston, the whole Zell Aston photography and all that kind of stuff. I changed that because I was an actor originally. I don't know if I said this before, but I did I did acting way back in the day. I got my BA in theater and stuff like that in film, but I mainly concentrated on being an actor. So I was in a bunch of movies. So I was going to change my stage name. Was going to be I love Denzel Washington, so the Washington Aston, and Zell Denzel. So Zell Aston is how I kind of came up with that.
How long have you had that?
At least 25, 30 years. Because I initially, when I was in the Screen Actors Guild, still am, but I haven't paid my dues. But when I was originally in the Screen Actors Guild, I did it looked like a Ford kind of, it was a Ford documentary about servicing your cars at Ford way back in the day. And I was Taft-Hartley, people who are actors. I made so much money that it became a commercial. My little piece, I was like waving and taking a car out. And how that happened was it's Ogilvy and Mather. They were the ones that were pushing it out for whatever reason. And I was there just to meet the director. Because my friend, she got looked at. She was at the mall, my friend Stephanie. And she was at the mall. She's like, Lee, this guy came and said, I want to be, she was an actress too. She's like, he wants to put me in this commercial or documentary. I should come out. I said, you should meet the director. I'm like, will they let me do that? Yeah, just come with me. So I went with her, and they had all this camera equipment. I think they were shooting actual 16 millimeter or whatever. And the guys, one guy's like, why are you here? I'm like, I'm here. I just want to meet the director. Can I meet? So, yeah, fine. Just come on out with me. So I went on out there. The director would say, hey, what's going on? Like, they were very, very nice. And I was still in school, at Davis. And I said, yeah, I just want to see the camera equipment. And you guys are shooting 16 millimeter. I love film. Like, yeah, come on back over here. So I was looking. And how it happened, this old guy was supposed to be taking a bike out of this car, but he was like 70-something years old. Not that 70 I'm 55. Not like 70 means you can't take a bike out, but he wasn't strong enough. He was brittle. So he's, and like, man, and I heard them talk, because they were far away in a long lens. And they're like, the director's like, man, this guy's messing up. We need to get somebody else. It's like, Lee, you said you were an actor, right? And the one guy's like, what about him? He's a different color. It's like, I'm like, what's going on? Different color? What? I'm like, hey, it doesn't matter. It's like,
Hey, sometimes that works in your advantage.
it does. Like, we need something different. It's like, how about Lee? So he's an actor. Do you know what that guy's doing? Can you do that? I'm like, yeah, it's easy. Just take the bike out and wave to the camera. So he's like, yeah, put Lee in there. Come with me and get you a third. So I took my shirt off and, went over there and took the bike out, and waved and stuff like that, and I felt like, yeah, give us a thumbs up. And they're all giving me thumbs up. Yeah, great job, Lee, great job. I felt like the biggest fucking idiot. So I get paid $75 or something like that, $100 just for the day. I was super excited about that. I was like, Mom, I told my mom, I was in college. I'm like, Mom, they said it might be a commercial one day too. I was like, boy, it's not gonna be a commercial. It's like, you better just take your little $100. I'm like, oh, I was happy about that. Went back to school. People were like, hey, how was that thing? And theater people. And I'm like, yeah, they said it might be a commercial. Yeah, it's not gonna be a commercial. They knew more than me. And that's fine. Maybe they did. But they didn't know. And then, my mom, called me and said, hey, there's these checks that are coming in for $5,000, $7,000, $20,000. I'm like, what are you talking about right now? Like, they made your thing into a commercial. And they said something about Taft Hartley and you're in the Screen Actors Guild. I'm like, what? So I went home, and I got my Screen Actors Guild card. So if you make it, even if it's not a commercial, if you make a certain amount of money, they automatically induct you into they take your funds, like $5,000, or I think it was $3,500 at the time when I was in the Screen Actors Guild. And so they took my first fees, and I got health insurance. I made like $250,000.
It's like you joined the union, right?
Yeah. So Screen Actors Guild is a union. It's SAG, SAG,
right?
Screen Actors Guild. So I was part of the union. So I made about $250,000, and I bought guitars like nobody's business, man. I bought a Fender Stratocaster American made. Oh.
What made you buy guitars out of everything?
I just love playing guitar. I play guitar, so I mean, but I wanted to be Carlos Santana. For those who play guitar, Mixolydian, you know what I'm talking about. Mixolydian and Dorian is like these two scales that Carlos plays in. And so, I bought some stuff. So, and I paid, I think it was my second year at Davis, and I would stay there 5 years, and I paid. My parents were like, well, and they had money, but like, you're gonna pay for your own college now. I'm like, man, you guys are assholes, but it's fine. But yeah, that's kind of the story. But yeah, I wanted to change my name. And I didn't end up changing my name because it was too much for me to change my name to Zell Aston at the time. And I was like, Lee Cummings is Lee Cummings. But there's already a couple. So if you look me up on IMDb, it's Lee E. Cummings the fourth, because there's other Lee Cummings that are on there. So
it's a really common name.
Yeah. So, but I'm actually the third in real life. But for IMDb purposes, they had to put me as Lee Cummings the fourth. So I'm a third. My dad's name is Lee. My grandfather's name is Lee as well. So, and we're Lee E. Cummings Senior, Lee E. Cummings Jr., my dad, and Lee E. Cummings the third. So that's on my birth, it's on my driver's license, everything. So that's the long story of that. How I got into from there, I was in some movies. I did The Rock with Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage. I met Sean Connery, met Nicolas Cage. Sean Connery, I remember reading. I was a bellhop, and if I ever get famous, they'll pull this footage out. But Michael Bay, who did Transformers, he was directing. I was in San Francisco, and I was a bellhop, and that whole scene, we must have been there for like 15 hours or maybe longer. We're at the Fairmont Hotel, which is super famous in SF. From SF, you know what I'm talking about. Super posh place. And Sean Connery, stuntman, who's like a big version of Sean Connery, R.I.P. Sean Connery, rolls down the stairs, his stunt double does, and then he gets up and he passes me, and I go, huh? I got this bellhop hat on and this whole uniform, and Nicolas Cage comes to me and goes, FBI agent, where is he? Where's him all? When I point down the way. It was on a cutting room floor. Because, the 15 hours was this much in the movie, like less than 10 seconds of the movie.
Yeah, a lot of it's...
Yeah, so it's a lot of... That's where the budget goes. They shoot a ton, and then they make the story, and, So my piece ended up on there. But the camera wasn't in front of my face.
Of what they actually...
Yeah. But yeah, I met Nick Cage, super... And I almost was an FBI agent, because that's what I really wanted. She's like, dude, you're really... And I was super lean. And he's like, dude, you're really buff, and you're lean. We want to make you an agent, but you're just too fucking short. And I was. I'm 5'9".
They can't put you on a box?
Not because they're running around. They're walking.
Yeah.
But they can. They do. If anyone knows, what was that? Jennifer Lawrence in that movie called Mockingjay and all those movies. Well, PETA, or whatever his name is, I forget his name, Josh something, he's hella short. He's like 5'6" or 5'5". And so when you see him in the movie, he's always eye to eye with Jennifer. Mm-hmm. But when you see him on the red carpet, because Jennifer Lawrence is like 5'11", 5'10", and he's like 5'6". So he's on the red carpet, he's down there. So, but yeah, they put them Apple boxes and put them up to make sure that they're seeing eye to eye. So yeah, sorry. But
you make things work.
Yeah, absolutely. Hollywood magic.
There was there's like I don't know if it's a documentary, but like there's like a series on Hulu, I think it is. Maybe it's not Hulu. I think it's Hulu. About like, I think it's like Dangers of Hollywood or something like that. And I was watching it. And it's funny that you're like, if I get famous, they'll cut this out, right? And I was just thinking about like how terrible of a life it kind of is. Like it seems glorious. Right. Yes. Yeah. When you see like people fawning over these people, all the things they have, but like the dangerous things that come with it is insane. People waiting by your house, knowing where you live. And back in the old days, now it's so accessible to know where you live. Even easier now than it was 10 years ago. That's what I'm saying. And like a lot of those stories were from 10 years ago or longer, you know what I mean? And like it can only be worse now. I could imagine being a female or even a male and just really weird stalkers that one of my friends, Brandy Roderick,
She's a playmate, and she's also her and Aquaman. What's his name? Man, sometimes. Anyway, Aquaman. Jason Momoa. When Pam Anderson left Baywatch, Brandy became the star, and Jason Momoa. That was their show, Baywatch Nights. Well, Baywatch and then Baywatch Nights, and they both did that together. And Jason Momoa really cut his teeth in cinema, basically. Well, not cinema, but television series called Baywatch. So you could tell he was definitely. I don't want to care what anyone says. He was definitely used steroids to get that as big as he is now, because he was a skinny dude. But did a great job, But she told me some of the horror stories about people, and I was at one of her book signings. It's people fawning and just really weird. She's very good, like, hey, and I was at her book signing, stuff like that, and just weird stuff.
Well, they were saying that it's even worse now because of like the accessibility, right? Like you can get to them and see them on videos and stuff easily on social media. It almost feels like you're with them, right?
Yeah.
Like you follow people and you feel like you know them.
Yeah.
Well, then you have people that are psychologically not right, and then now they feel like, you love me too, I love you, and then they just do crazy things.
Right.
It's just insane. I mean, like it wasn't even just girls. Like they talked about Justin Bieber and like the stalking, and somebody actually, it was some fat dude at I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. I can't remember. Somebody was like hired to kill him or something. Like
what?
It was, like it was a crazy thing, and I didn't know anything about it until I watched that. But
show up in backyards. I mean, somebody
Insane.
tried to stab somebody, had a knife one time. It wasn't Jennifer Garner, but it was somebody. But like all those stories, you're right. It doesn't even matter. It's just if you have some kind of real stardom and you're out there, movies or music or something like that.
Well, even now, think of the TikTok famous, Instagram famous, like those people now, they weren't anybody before, but now that the social media has blown them up,
right.
They're a celebrity in most people's eyes.
Right. Yeah,
So
I mean, I Show Speed. I mean, Ollie Drewski, all these guys that are like on the internet, TikTok famous or, chat or Twitch or whatever. I mean, they have bodyguards and stuff like that. They have to.
Yeah, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. And like, people are nuts.
Absolutely nuts. I mean, like, you can't control it. And you can't it's wild.
Yeah, I was watching, I was just like, holy crap. Oh, another fun fact that I learned from it. So there's like one whole episode that's about the Power Rangers, which I knew the Power Rangers when I was a kid. I was a pink Power Ranger when I was little, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I didn't watch past like that first right. season or whatever, because they changed the Power Rangers every like season.
Yeah, okay.
But they changed them, and there was like basically a curse on the Red Power Ranger.
Otherwise.
So like they were either like doing violent things or some kind of fraud or whatever that put them in prison, or they were killing themselves. Like it was literally every single. It was insane what they were talking about. I was just like, holy crap. It was hard to like believe it, but like they were like showing the examples of who, you know what I mean?
That's wild. I thought you were going to say something more of like, not really that, but more of like, my friend was on the Power Rangers, not a Power Ranger, but like he played one of the like monster guys, and that was all non-union. So they didn't have to follow union guides. People were sweating. I mean, like to be in those costumes and stuff like that. Not even just the Power Rangers, because that was okay, because they made sure you were okay if you were one of the power, black, green, pink, whatever. But the monsters, dude, my friends like Lee, it was hell.
Well, and the Power Rangers actually had a bad rap to the point where like a lot of them couldn't get jobs after working for them.
Really?
Because society looked at it like it was bad, because kids were trying to fight because they were watching the show and reenacting it, and like, so everybody was like, that's bad. Like Justin's mom wouldn't let him watch it.
Really?
Yeah, like it was a bad show. My parents clearly didn't care.
Yeah. I watched it. I mean, but I watched it way before you guys did, because it was out since then. I mean, it got better. I mean, somewhat, a little bit better from when you were watching it. But when I first started watching Power Rangers, I must have been like 10 or 11. So it's been out forever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, it's always been sweatshop, non-union kind of work, and we don't have the union protecting you. It's really funny that we kind of got to this point too as well in the conversation. But like when you don't have the union protecting you, that's why you have a union. It could be, and that's why I remember even being an extra. But you can't
just join it. That's the other part too. Is like if you want to, you want to join the union and take that into a career, it takes a lot of beating up on the other side of
Well, it only
things
takes-
without the union before you get there.
It only takes, okay, so back in the day, the way because everyone has this misnomer, I know exactly how it takes 3 paid gigs on a union job, even as an extra. And then you pay, I think it's $5,000 now, and people can correct me or not. I think it's $5,000 now. It's $3,500 way back in the day. But you do 3 union jobs, and it could be an extra, like you're just doing background work. But as long as you have these little slips, and then you go and you do the union. Now, the thing about being...
I did a background one for like Netflix.
Yeah.
That was absolutely horrible. I hate Netflix.
How much did you get paid for
I
that?
will never, ever, I don't remember. I will never, ever do that again. It wasn't the set... Sorry, it wasn't like the job itself.
Right.
It was actually the little... freaking little teeny bopper. I don't know. He looked like he was 12, but he was probably like 19. And he was going around trying to tell me to put a mask on, and I didn't play that game. And so it was like a whole big deal, and I had to do this stupid thing for 2 freaking days. And I was just like so irritated by the end of it. But I had a lot of fun with like the cast and stuff, but like I'll never know. Because this was, first of all, we never had the mask thing still going for like, since actually the mask thing wasn't here when I moved here.
Okay.
And
those, you're talking about the COVID stuff like that.
Okay. And like it wasn't a thing here. I don't care if it's in California.
Right.
It is not a thing here, and I'm not doing it.
Right.
And I wouldn't have followed the rules in California.
Right.
I didn't follow the rules in Colorado because it's a dumb rule.
Right.
And so like I was just so mad about that, and I am so strong on like my principles and how I think, and
Right.
I am not just going to conform because somebody told me to.
But did they
If
tell
they
you
would
that
have just
previously?
let me leave, I would have just left. But
Yeah.
no, they bust us to the location and all that stuff.
Oh, so you're trying to trap there.
And I was trapped.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all my stuff was at the Rio,
And
and
they
they
do that.
bus you to Dre's. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, Dre's, yeah.
That's where it was. And like, I was just like, I'm not wearing a mask. Like, you could take me back. Like, I can be done.
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
But like, I'm not wearing a mask. Like, it's stupid.
Wow.
And then it was so dumb too, because first of all, if you're filming, you don't wear it.
Right.
So I'm sitting right next to hundreds of people because it's like a pool party like thing, right? So there's people everywhere. I mean, you're in crowds of people, no mask, but all of a sudden I go inside where no one is, and I'm supposed to put a mask on.
It makes no sense because you guys are doing scenes either in the pool or lounging out, and when they actually shoot, you're taking them. You're not gonna have a mask on. Hey, we're partying.
Right.
It makes no sense.
No, makes none. So yeah, needless to say, I know it's not the same now.
Right.
But I'm still never ever gonna do anything related to Netflix ever again.
Yeah. Netflix. No.
It just made me mad.
Plus, I don't know if they even told you before about the mask situation before you even got.
No, it was
the
when
job.
you showed up.
See, and then you can't make a choice at that point. That's taking away your right. So if you say, hey, by the way, if you get this job, you have to be wearing a mask. You'd be like, nope, I'm out.
Yeah, I would have automatically said I was
Exactly,
out.
which is fine.
And I got that stupid gig from that studio. What is it? The studio group.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, you got that through them? Uh-huh. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
And they made it sound like it was this big deal, and it really wasn't.
And you're like background. I mean, background's not, I mean, you can make, I mean, if you have, so I did a lot of background work, and some extra stuff or whatever, when I had my Screen Actors Guild card, but I was getting paid $250 to $300 a day for 8 hours. And I ate, because when you're in the Screen Actors Guild, you get at least for 10-hour period, I think you need to have 2. So when I had breakfast, hey, Lee, come with us, please. And all the other people were like, why does he get to go with you? I'm like, see you later, guys. I had like, good ass food because since I'm in a union, I have to eat with the real actors. So I was meeting all these famous people and stuff like that, sitting with them. And
Yeah.
I didn't say much, but I had good food. So
They did food. I just don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Or did I really care?
well, you shouldn't because you're not a cook.
And nothing they brought
that.
would have been good enough. Anyways.
Exactly.
But yeah, it was interesting.
Talk about
my
virus.
butt is on the TV show.
Oh,
my
it is?
butt is on there. Yeah.
Is it? Wait. Are you in that television show that it's like an FBI show that there's a show that came out? What's the show? What was it called?
It started with an O. I cannot think of.
But it's a series, right?
Yeah. It was like it was like multiple episodes.
No, dude, I saw that.
I was literally
it's a good
walking in like a blue and pink like bikini thing to the Russians. I was on the Russians team all of a sudden. They were like, "Will you walk?" And I was like, "Sure."
So was it like This was like a show that was about these people that this big heist happened or something went down. There's like a bomb somewhere.
Yeah,
yep.
I
saw, dude. That's actually a pretty good. It was like, it's like a medium. It's a good show. I'm gonna have to look for you now because I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's in the first episode.
Yeah, no. In the first episode's at Dre's, and they're out, and there's some good looking people there. The black, everybody was good looking. There's a Latina that's in the show. A cool ass white dude, black dude's big. You know, it was a cool show. And
the actors were really nice.
Yeah, they were dope. Yeah,
they were really nice.
I saw that, but I don't think I knew that when I watched it. But now that I know, I'm gonna look for you now. I'm gonna go back and look at it now.
I just think it's funny to tell people that my butt's on Netflix. You know,
butts on Netflix.
My butt's on Netflix.
But the fact you mentioned the other thing about the coronavirus, let's just talk really quickly about this, and it could be the haunting. What is it called? The hunting. I can't even say it. The hunting virus or something like that. Something with an H. Is a new virus.
The cruise ship one?
Yes.
So, fun fact. Okay. I just seen that yesterday.
Yeah, it's been out there for like 6 or 7 days now.
This is just a couple days ago. We were eating lunch. Okay. We went and got lunch at this really good spot, which I have to share with you. It's over by the airport. Okay. But anyways, we were eating lunch, and then on the news they were like, this cruise line virus, something about symptoms delayed, and I was like, it's starting again. I literally instantly did that to Justin. He just started laughing, and I'm like, I'm so serious. They're trying their crap again. Nobody better fall for that.
Nobody is. I don't think anybody is going to go inside and do that, man. There's no way. You know, people like, but I wrote on someone's thing when I saw, because I saw this about maybe 10 days ago, 12 days ago. I'm like, and I put it on someone's feed. I'm like, it was like, well, toilet paper's going to be gone. I'm like, nah, I'm installing a bidet. I'm not falling for that. And I'm not going to be inside. I'm not going to do anything they say.
We didn't run out of toilet paper last time everyone went crazy, and I didn't go buy any.
Well, I'm just saying, in Santa Rosa, California, where I was at the time when COVID hit, you can find toilet paper anywhere.
You can order it on Amazon.
I know. I didn't know that at the time.
You can order anything online.
I know.
So people freak out. It's like, whatever. So I'm not freaking out. But first of all, if anyone is falling for this crap again, like unless people are dying and falling to the ground in front of me, no, not happening. And I'm sorry, but you are stupid if you are falling for it at this point.
There's another MD that actually had some really great advice. He's like, listen, this is not the same thing. He's like, please don't be afraid. I mean, it's like the case is like it was like supposed to be being passed through rodents and stuff like that, and it was
the last one was bats. Like, let's be real, that they just make this crap up and then they put it on, you know, social media, media channels, and all of this stuff, and then they rile people up with the way they word it because they word it that way on purpose, and then they get everyone scared, and then what happens? Everyone does the same crap they did before.
Buy a bunch of food, and now we
because we don't think for ourselves. Right. And it straight pisses me off if anybody can't tell.
I'm hoping that most Americans. I mean, like I said, you have the right to believe in whatever you would believe in, but do some research.
Think for yourself.
Yeah, I just hope the people will be like, hey, don't put us away, because a lot of people. I have friends that were in Santa Rosa, and I won't mention the names of those people, but they had done their due diligence, and then the governing cities, the mayor was like, okay, it's okay to go outside eating and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. They spent $30,000, $40,000 of their own money to make outside scenes so they can make money. And then the mayor was like, no, it's not good enough. And I wasn't from California. It's the mayor, it's herself, I think, at the time. I think it was her. Was like, no, it's not. You can't do that. So they lost their asses. You know? So it's like, guys.
So I'm telling you right now, all of that happened. I traveled more than I have ever. Like, me and Justin went all over the place.
Did you really?
It was cheap. We, didn't care. On the airplane, I would have the mask on my chin and I would eat something so that way I didn't have to wear it. Like,
exactly.
Just play the stupid game. But, like, we traveled more than we probably ever have in that, like, year of COVID. And I didn't get sick.
Yeah.
I didn't die. And just everything was BS. And you'd go state to state and everything was different.
Yeah. Like, or city to city.
Even city to city. I mean, in Colorado, Denver was horrible with that crap. It was just like California. You go into the mountains, it's almost like COVID didn't happen. Here, I don't know how it was exactly, but I can tell you that Boulder City didn't play that game.
No, they didn't.
When we first moved here, there was a lot of restaurants still trying to make you wear a mask. Yeah. And
I had to wear I worked at the WSOP, and I had to wear the mask hauling around equipment. I could have been hurt. I was definitely 50 when I moved. Oh, yeah, I was 49. And I could have been hurt. Like, seriously, like not having enough. I'm like, are you kidding? You can't breathe, man.
Yeah. People are still wearing them. What sucks is they scared them so much that they're still wearing them. But like they play Boulder City didn't play that game. We went we ate in that town for like the first year and a half of living here only because we didn't have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
I'm not playing the game.
Yeah.
I literally got into it with a lady at Lazy Dog because, and I still won't go there.
It's a hot dog place, right?
I don't know what it is. I think it's
it's
like fancy bar food or something.
Yeah, that's the exact. Yeah, I've been there before. Yeah,
but yeah, because I wouldn't go to a hot dog place.
No. Hey, there's a good hot dog place.
I don't do hot dogs.
Atomic Dog.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I'm not eating hot dogs.
Sorry, guys.
But no, like we went to that restaurant with friends and they were like, you need to put a mask on. And I was like, it's dead in the restaurant, right? Absolutely dead. And I was like, I'm not putting a mask on for you to sit me at the table I'm right next to. And she's like, no, you have to put a mask on or we can't sit you. And I was like, I'm not putting, like, what difference does it make for me to put this on, sit down at that table
and start eating
and then take the mask off before I even get food. Like I'm sitting, I can take it off.
Right.
And there's absolutely like nothing you could do about that, but I have to put it on just to sit. And like, she literally was just like, that's just the rule. Like that's, you have to, and blah, blah, blah. And like, I kept arguing her with, logic and she had nothing but like, nope, you have to put it on. And I was like, that's fine. And then, so Justin went into the bathroom when I was arguing with her and our friends were like right behind us. And they came in and I was like, hey guys, I'm not going to ruin your meal. I was like, you are welcome to still sit and have your meal. I was like, but due to my principles, my values, we cannot stay here because they're trying to make me put on a mask to sit at that table right there. I was like, I'm not doing it. Right. And they were like, oh, that's okay. We can go somewhere else. We went to a breakfast spot literally across the street and they sat us right away. No issue whatsoever. After we were done eating, they thanked us for helping them stand up for their values and cool. not just complying because that's what they said to do. And like we kind of influenced them to do the thing that they felt was right. Versus just kind of following the herd. Yeah.
I mean, I get the fact that masks do work if you're feeling sick, and not want to pass it off.
They don't, though. No, those are dust masks. They don't do anything. It's meant to stop from you inhaling dust. Right. We're using bullcrap. Oh, you mean
there's better ones that people weren't buying.
But it's also really bad for you to not be able to get fresh air.
Exactly, 100%.
So,
and also too, I think you're right as an American to do what you want to do. That's why we live in this country. But that's just
so don't try to tell me what to do because I'm definitely not going to listen.
Yeah, it feels. I'm not even going to say what it feels like, but I will say that as an American, you have a right to say I don't want to do that.
Don't
also too, you have a right not to seek me to as well if I don't want to follow your guidelines. And it's my right to say, hey, I'm not going to eat at your establishment. If you want to say, hey, I don't want to be here, or you don't want to serve me, cool. I understand that. I get it.
I can tell you right now that even though you don't have to wear a mask now, I'm still never going to go there again. Right. If you were like, hey, you want to go to Lazy Dog? Nope. I have a list in my phone of places that said no. There's a sushi spot. Like I have literally a list and I will not eat at those establishments. Yeah. So
they're trying to comply with, I don't know. It's just a messy.
Well, it's just if anything happens again, here we go. Yeah. Here comes the next, round of fear and all this stuff, right? And if it works, guess who's not going to play the game? Guess who knows who already played the game that'll most likely play the game again? Right. I'm not supporting it.
Yeah. I mean, I think my biggest thing is this, is that if what they said was dangerous, right, then why would you allow 2 people or 3 to 5 people, or out of that 100, why would you even allow them back into their neighboring countries? And forget about that. The other countries have their own right. But if you're American and you were on that cruise ship, why would you, if it's supposedly 8 weeks or whatever, quarantine them for 8 weeks off the coast of whatever, the United States of America, wherever that might be? But if it's that serious, then why would you allow them back? I mean,
right.
America,
if it's that serious,
right now.
Wherever they were at when this happened should have been the quarantine spot.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
Like, why are we so if it's that, so now if America says, hey, guess what? Then that's your fault. I mean, I'm sorry, but if you know that it's dangerous and you think it's that dangerous, then why would you allow 50 to, or whatever, I think how many Americans were on, I don't have any idea, but between 50 to, out of the 100 and something people that were on the board, if there are 20, 30 people that are Americans and they have American citizenship and they live here, why would you allow them back before 8 weeks before you know what's exactly happening?
Well, and it does, like, no matter what, like, type of virus it is or whatever it is,
Right.
wherever you had found it,
Right.
you need to stay there to make sure it passes in that time frame.
Right.
Why would you move around? The
Why'd you
whole
let them-
point of quarantine is to stay in one place and not spread.
Right. But that's not my fault. That's the United States of America fault of the government saying, okay, and now you guys want to make it a point to be like, ooh, it's scary. You should have been scared before you brought them back in here. I mean, and not for the people that, if you have family or whatever that was on that ship, it is what it is. If I was sick or if I was on that ship, I definitely would want to be coming back home and would be scared. I'm not saying I would not be. But also, too, I have an alliance to my friends and family members and everyone that lives here in the United States that I don't want to get sick. So I just have to just...
Like, how would you feel coming back and you go see your mom? You know what I mean? Like
Anybody that's my friends and family, whatever, like getting people sick or...
Yeah.
And it's
I
popping
couldn't
off.
imagine coming back and then going to see people and getting them sick.
And they die.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Zero. And that's what I'm trying to say. The government, you're ass and you're being stupid as fuck if you allow these people back into the country. And I know that's polarizing right now, guys. People are going to be pissed. I don't give a fuck. But like, don't allow them back in until they're okay. Get them the necessary, because we got money here. We got a war that we're fighting over here. You know, we got jets and stuff like that. You can make their lives okay, and while you're treating them and figuring some shit out.
We have military everywhere.
Everywhere. So buck up, figure it out, let them figure the shit out, make them comfortable, you know.
Is it even as big a deal as they're making it?
I have no idea, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
I don't care.
But I always go there because I have to question it.
But if it
because
is-
every time we make something seem worse than it is, you know, kind of like telling you what side to take for the war and all that stuff. How do we even know what's really happening? You know what I watch? YouTube videos of people that actually talk to people who actually have been there.
Yeah, and that's what's great. That's what's so wonderful about TikTok, YouTube, and all these other places that will allow actual videos and cell phone footage to what's happening. I mean, I've seen some stuff. I'm like, whoa, that's, you know. So we it's a lot less of. I mean, they do try to contain things, but we can get a lot more truth out there than we ever had before.
Yeah. And like the real journalists are on like YouTube. You know what I mean? Like it's not your media channel.
On either whatever you believe. It's not on Fox, CBS, whatever.
No.
I'm getting my real stuff from people like I'm seeing bombs fly through and what's happening and they're there.
Credible people
absolutely.
that aren't trying to sell you fear.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean if it was like that, then I mean, the state stuff. I mean, like, listen, I love being American, and we do sell fear sometimes. A lot of Americans will not leave their home and go travel. They won't go to Japan. They won't go to Brazil.
From COVID, you go around and like you see somebody driving with a mask on. I feel bad for them at this point.
Listen, I'm not going to talk about that. I don't even go there. When I saw people driving with a mask on in their own car, listen, Fylisha.
No, I still get mad about it.
Make that make sense.
But the problem is these people are so mentally like effed up basically from the fear that the media basically put them into.
You're in your own car driving.
Do you remember the number countdown of deaths? They had like a number, or not countdown, I guess a count up.
Yeah.
But they were like numbering the deaths. What was the purpose of that? The purpose was to scare you.
Well, the other purpose was that they didn't tell you, that you know and I know, was that if you died of a heart attack and you had some sort of dealings with, you know, whatever, they say, oh, that's a death for coronavirus. No.
Oh, yeah. No,
the guy
they
was
did that a lot.
Obese or had high blood pressure or whatever, and they passed on normal circumstances, but you guys want to put the numbers up for COVID.
Oh, for sure. They did. They definitely fudged the numbers. But like the fact that they used things like that to scare these people, and now because they never thought for themselves to begin with,
right.
And now they've had this traumatizing experience. They see it everywhere. They watch CNN, they watch Fox, they whatever. They watch the number on that webpage just keep rising and keep rising.
Right.
They were told to wear a mask and like all this stuff, and now like they made it through it, but they're still scared to this day that they might get COVID and die.
Listen, I don't know. I mean, I've been fairly healthy and stuff like that, but one thing that I'm upset about, and it is what it is, because I had to work, I couldn't. Some people fudged their documents to say that I had to get one shot. I got one shot and they get the other one to work at the WSOP. Now, I know probably in hindsight, in 10 years, 15 years from now, I can sue because that was crazy. They made me take a shot. They made me take a shot, and I don't want to say too much because I know that I'm going to be working for WSOP, but it wasn't actually the WSOP who I'm going to be working for this year. It was actually just the old owners. It wasn't the Koreans own WSOP now, which is great. I'm working for them. They're wonderful. But they made me take a shot just to work. And I needed the money, Fylisha, and I had to work, and I didn't want to fudge a federal document because some people actually went to jail. They were fudging their document saying, oh, they just got, because my friend had a friend, I don't want to say who, but they had cards, and they were giving out these blank cards to fudge on, and that's, you can go federal time to prison for that. So I didn't do that. I got the shot legally, and I didn't feel good about it. I felt it's weird. It's a weird feeling. I felt violated somewhat. Like I had to do something that I didn't want to do. My mom, she's not going to watch this, but my mom was I was a little upset, and I told her maybe 2 years ago, I was like, Mom, you made me get, she didn't make me get the shot, but I had to get the shot because of WSOP to work for, everyone did. So I don't know.
I did not.
I know. Good for you. Good for you.
Here's the thing. If you have a family and they put you in a really bad spot, I get it. Like you had to do what you had to take care of your family. But I have a husband who's very crafty, and we were lucky enough to work for people who believed in the same things we did, so it wasn't required. Yeah. And, we were just lucky in that sense. But either way, we would have figured it out. There's no way I would have stayed at a job. I don't have kids to raise. If we have to struggle a little bit, we'd figure it out. Right. But there are a lot of people who had to do that, didn't have a choice. Yeah. There's also, things that are not being tracked, like people passing away pretty healthy that did get the shot. Yeah. I
tell you, I don't feel the same. That's for sure.
And it's sad because there's nothing, you can't go back.
No, you can't.
You can't change it. But if you were pressured into it,
definitely pressured.
There was absolutely nothing you can do.
Zero. And that's the sad thing about it. But I'll tell you what. Fool me once, I'm never doing that ever again. And if you listen to this, you're probably from the United States of America, you need to fight for your own rights to, and don't believe all the hype that's around certain things. And that's just my point of view, in my opinion.
I can tell you from experience, going through all of that, getting yelled at in the grocery store for not wearing a mask, being judged because you don't get the shot, all of that stuff. There was plenty of people that we knew that thought very differently than us. There were some that didn't like us during that time, which is quite fine. But to this day, I am so, so thankful that I stood for what I believed in. I thought for myself, and I didn't just go with what everybody else was doing because I didn't want to feel hated or, disliked or whatever it might be. Those feelings you get of almost like guilt or any of that. If I'm sick, I'll stay home. You know what I mean? But I'm not following these things just because I'm told to do them with zero reasoning behind it. Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's that caveat, which you're talking about. There's other people like myself financially that weren't there that needed to be working. And the only way I could do that, so, and anytime, I think that what I'll just leave everybody with, I think the best part is when you're thinking is that anytime someone doesn't give you a choice, that's not the right choice to make.
No.
Anytime someone doesn't give you a choice, hey, you can't work here and make money for your livelihood to put food on your table, that feels a little bit like something else. And I don't want to say what it is, but.
Can you think about this? So if everyone who actually didn't believe the right thing to do was to get the shot to keep their job, if everyone just said, I'm not doing it, what would they do? What would they have to do? Yeah. All these businesses would have no employees. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's some people that would do it because they believed in it. Right. Obviously, that's how our country's built, is by everyone thinking differently. Right. And there's definitely two sides during all of that.
Absolutely.
But wouldn't it hurt enough to the point where they would have to take you back?
Yeah, for sure.
If all the ants stand together, what happens?
You get powerful. But the problem is that everybody's on different levels, and that's okay because that's how America grew and became this beautiful country that it is. With the outliers versus the people that want to say we know what's happening, and outliers like no, we just need to look at this. That's what democracy is built on, but there's a choice. And that's the great thing about America, different than other places. You know, you can say whatever you want about America, but I'll tell you this, you know, based upon, you know, people always want to say bad things about America, but like, tell you what, you're not being killed by being a woman. Women have rights here, you know. I mean, there's other places where you not wearing that mask or that, you're out. You're done.
Well, it's not even that. Like, I'm sorry, but if you grew up here and you have a bad way of looking at our country, that's because you grew up here spoiled. Most people that come to this country are thankful that they're here.
Yeah, it's a melting pot. It's immigrants all over the place that helping this place become what it is, you know, so paying your taxes and doing what you need to do. But we still need to be due diligence on using our own minds. You know, we put them in office. It's not the other way around. They work for us.
But the problem is that's not how enough enough people follow their
the government. I listen to you every single time. No. And there's been plenty of instances where we know that the government has always had our best interests at heart.
So I think the key with this podcast, even though we went on a nice little rampage on all of this.
No, it all makes sense. I mean, like.
But yeah, I think the key takeaway is to think for yourself. I mean, like when it comes down to it, if you're not thinking for yourself, you're thinking as somebody else is telling you to, and that's not always right for you specifically. So if I were to follow just what you said all the time, that's probably not right for me.
Exactly.
Right? And just because, like, me and Justin think very differently on some things. Most things are very, very similar, but we have different ideas on, you know, certain things, and we can express those in a peaceful way. So why can't everybody else think the way you want to for yourself? Don't be a follower. The reason we have all these cults and all these things is because of all these people that just don't want to think for themselves because it takes effort. Think for yourself.
Well, guys, you heard it here first. Think for yourself. And remember, there's something special about being an outlier than always thinking like everybody else. And it's okay to be different. Anything else?
I think that's it. Just think for yourself. I'm sick and tired of seeing all these people fall for stupid things, but not thinking for themselves. So think for yourself.
We're out on Message on Purpose on number 80. Well,
this one will be
82.
84.
Oh, 84. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 84.
Number 84. 84. I wasn't I was part of some of those, but I'm a part of a lot more of them. And we're just we're happy to be your hosts and tell you what we're thinking and have you thinking more about yourself and people you love and just anything else that's out there.
Anybody wants a topic covered, let us know.
Let us know, guys. We're ready to go.
All right. Until next time.
See you.
Bye, guys.